What's going on, everybody? Our mob of Houston Ensemble, and as per usual, we have a very juicy one for you today. But before we begin, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll take you less than a second, but it means so much to us. Now, on the topic of Klaus, I would probably have to make a whole other video about the deep backgrounds of his family, his father Eugene Klaus, his family company Escher Weiss, and their connection to the Nazi Third Reich. But right here, right now, we're just gonna keep it contemporary. I'm still gonna have to do a lot more research and checking with official court documents from the United States and Germany on the background information. But I wanted to begin with this little meme here, since we're talking about a sort of Klaus figure. Not Santa Claus, but a different kind of Santa Claus. But check this out. Dad, is Santa Claus a hoax? Of course not, son. Think of how many people would have to be in on it. It reminds you of all of those radars on the news outlets tracking Santa's trajectory across the world. Where is Santa now? Which chimney is he going down? Now, I do want to give you just a brief background on who this guy is. And for that, we go to our trusted Wikipedia page. And there's a couple of excerpts I want to read here. Not the whole thing, but here's this part here. During the early years of his career, he was on a number of company boards, such as the Swatch Group, the Daily Mail Group, the Vanderbilt Holding. He is a former member of the steering committee of the Bilderberg Group. And that's kind of a whitewash. He's a very high-ranking member of that group. But you know how Wikipedia is. Now, let's go down to the criticisms. So, there's no transparency on his salary. But of course, that's not surprising. This is the juicy part here, though. Capture of democratic structures and institutions. Schwab, as publisher of the World Economic Forum's 2010 Global Redesign Report, postulates that a globalized world is best managed by a coalition of multinational corporations, governments, including the UN system, and select civil society organizations, CSOs. It argues that governments no longer are the overwhelmingly dominant actors on the world stage, and that the time has come for a new stakeholder paradigm of international governance. Doesn't that sound nice? Of course, he would be positioned for that. It'd be very beneficial to him, of course. The WF's vision includes a public-private UN in which certain specialized agencies would operate under joint state and non-state governance systems. According to the Transnational Institute, the forum is hence planning to replace a recognized democratic model with a model where a self-selected group of stakeholders make decisions on behalf of the people. Wasn't that nice? Tell us what to do, Daddy. The think tank summarizes that we are increasingly entering a world where gatherings such as Davos are a silent global coup d'etat to capture governance. Controversy with Davos municipality. It goes on to say that he's having some trouble with his foundation and the criticisms that are being barraged at the company since June 2021. Now, let's just keep going because we've got a lot to go through. I also highly encourage that you guys check out his publications. So the big one is this guy right here. This guy right here. Literally spells out the entire agenda. Case by case, point by point. He's not hiding it. He and his co-author Thierry Malloret very open about their plans. And I love that people are buying these three in tandem. How to Lie with Statistics and The New World Order, frequently bought together. So people are so awakened to what this guy's up to. You'll see a 4 out of 5 star rating here, but once you go down to the actual reviews, it's just a barrage. Look at this guy, S. Lawrence. The call for global governance is chilling. Know your enemy. This is their manual. They deleted my first 2-star review. Technocratic totalitarianism on global scale. Propaganda. So, something to be very wary of, okay? Because these are the people that and I quoted that Wikipedia. They literally want to take over the modern democratic system. I have a PDF copy of the book. You can read it for yourself. Here's Thierry. So why is this important? Here's their joint publication with the UN, Agenda 2030. It spells it all out for you guys. But again, I don't want to do a lot of talking. I want to do more showing. Ending poverty, ending hunger. Goal 3, ensure healthy lives, ensure inclusive, equitable equality. It all sounds great. It all sounds great. The type of utopic sales pitch that we're given time and time again. So let's get immediately into the clips now. We've done enough talking. Here's the first one.
Morning, Klaus.
Good morning, Like.
Where are we?
We are here at the headquarters of the World Economic Forum in Geneva.
Wow, thank you very much for getting me here. Can you explain me a little bit about your activities and could we see you around as well, because you have fantastic setup here.
Of course, we can walk around. We have here our headquarters. We have also offices in Beijing and in New York. What we are doing is very complex. We are a foundation bringing together the key decision makers from all walks of life to address the challenges on the global agenda. That's, in an essence, what we are doing.
And when did you start the World Economic Forum?
Oh, many years ago, 37 years ago, in 1971.
Because people know about the annual meeting in Davos, but it's much more than that, right?
Yes, of course, the annual meeting, which is the annual meeting of our members and constituents, 2,000 people from politics and business. That's the top of the iceberg. What we are doing here is following up many issues, providing frameworks for solutions, looking at industry agendas. We have a number of public-private partnerships, and so on and so on. A lot to do.
Can you show me around, Klaus?
Yes, of course. Why?
I follow you.
First...
if there was a new Austin Powers movie, he could be the next Dr. Evil. I mean, he really looks the part, doesn't he? So that's the first intro clip. But let's go right there into the juicy part, shall we? You'll love this.
Aujourd'hui, au bout de ça, on parle de puces qu'on pourra s'implanter. Ce sera quand, ça?
Certainement dans les 10 années à venir. Et d'abord, on va les implanter dans nos vêtements, c'est-à-dire wearables, comme on le dit. Et après, on pourrait s'imaginer qu'on les implante dans nos cerveaux ou dans nos topos. Et à la fin, peut-être il y a une communication directe entre notre cerveau et le monde digital. Ce que nous voyons, c'est une sorte de fusion du monde physique, digital et biologique.
On appelle quelqu'un, on n'a même plus le réflexe de devoir prendre un appareil, ça se fait naturellement. Hein. La technique continue le corps.
Oui, vous parlez et vous dites, je veux maintenant être connecté avec n'importe qui. Et d'abord, vous avez les robots personnalisés. Et j'ai vu que M. Zuckerberg a prédit qu'à la fin de l'année, il va avoir son robot, son butler personnalisé qui est à sa disposition.
Donc, comme dans Downton Abbey, on aura son butler personnel, son serviteur, son esclave.
Oui, mais il y a une différence. C'est un serviteur qui, avec l'intelligence artificielle, apprend et qui n'est pas seulement votre assistant pour des travaux manuels, qui peut vraiment être un partenaire intellectuel de vous.
Sounds great. It sounds really good for people that are antisocial and can't make friends. What about a little robot you can talk to? And you don't even have to talk to them. You'll just interface with the little chip in your brain. Doesn't it sound nice? Very loving. Very good for us. Let's keep going. I'm just trying to show you. I did all the talking. I'm trying to show you. Now think about what this all means with everything you've heard so far. Let's keep going. You want to stick around for 6 and 10. I told you. Let's keep going.
So this first industrial revolution it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, just as an example, it's you who are changed. And of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
Yeah. And offers certain kinds of possibilities that have to be careful about. You know, when you began to do that kind of gene editing, some people worry that you are changing what it means to be human.
That's the problem. And of course, the new industrial revolution offers us many opportunities, but it raises manifold questions on the ethical, but even legal implications. And we have to be prepared for it, and that's what we want to do in Davos next year.
Talk about technology and how the ways it can be deployed, that contribute to growth rather than exacerbate unemployment. How will that implement itself?
It's a big question mark, because there is a fear that technology, robots, just to take one
you gain
element,
productivity from machines.
Exactly, and it replaces maybe the workforce or jobs faster than we can replace them with new jobs. Not everybody can be a robot polisher and so on, so there will be new jobs.
I love this guy. Oh, it could be a big problem. It's a big question. We don't know. We're going to do it anyway, though. But don't worry. We got it covered. Let's keep going here. And when he spoke of the fourth industrial revolution, he does have a whole book on that too, okay? Right here. The fourth industrial revolution. So if you want to know all about what he's thinking about that, go check that out. Now, this is a good one too. Make note of that dislike ratio. No wonder YouTube wants to take down the dislike feature. Most of the hyper disliked videos on this platform are videos like this. Don't believe me? Go search for them yourself. All the political videos about this guy and anybody related to this guy, people are completely awakened to the scam, because we've seen this utopic vision sales pitch being done to the masses dozens of times in history. But let's watch this clip.
Know how it will play out in November, but what we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed, and particularly also people in the gray economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger already now, but probably increase by the end of the year, because this crisis will be with us until we really have found a remedy. So we have to prepare for a more angry world. And how to prepare? It means to take the necessary action to create a fairer world, to see that we provide everybody with decent access to the health system, that we make sure that those people who are really left behind, and I'm not speaking only on national levels, I'm speaking also internationally. If I see now the tragedy in some of the emerging countries like South Africa, like some countries in East Asia, I think it's all, I don't have too many remedies. The remedies have to be discussed through dialogue by the stakeholders of our global system. But
the stakeholders, you see how it works? We don't have any remedies. We're really going to have to destroy everything real quick. And we don't have any remedies, but our stakeholders will figure it out. Doesn't sound nice? Sounds like a really good plan for you guys. And again, the people are waking up. Look at this guy's comment. This guy definitely gives off a I bathe in children's blood vibes. The devil doesn't wear red, carries a pitchfork or has horns. The devil wears a suit and looks like this man. If someone says build back better, that's a clear red flag. Perestroika, reconstruction in the Soviet Union. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. This comment section is renewing my faith in humanity. Well, good. Let's keep going. I didn't want to even get into this one, just wanted to show you the dislike ratio. I mean, nobody's buying this stuff. Comments are turned off. Let's keep going here. This is his address to the World Government Summit. I think this is in Saudi Arabia or Dubai. Where is this? You'll see all the kings and princes here. Just real quick.
And many of the things I talked about were considered to be fiction, far away in the future. But ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, the future is already here.
Well, when you're controlling the events of the globe and pushing your agenda, it's kind of like self-fulfilled prophecy a little bit, isn't it? Yeah.
The future has begun. Why this fourth industrial revolution is so crucial, so overwhelming in terms of the changes it will bring to us. 4 differences. The first one is the speed. The fourth revolution is not coming like the waves in the ocean, small waves. It's coming like a tsunami. Second difference is it's not just one breakthrough. It's a combination of many breakthroughs at the same time. In the book, which is available to you on the fourth industrial revolution, I mentioned 23 different breakthroughs, like the Internet of Things, like brain research, and I could go on and on. Of course, drones, robots, artificial intelligence. The third difference is this technological revolution does not bring just new products to us or services. It changes the systems. So this revolution changes all the systems, how we consume, how we produce, how we organize our supply chain. And this leads me to the fourth difference of this technological revolution. It changes not only what we are doing, it changes us. Because it's a fusion of our physical, digital, and biological spheres. It's an integration of those spheres. Just think of sensors planted into our brains.
There you go again. So he wants to change how we buy, how we consume, where we go, what we think, and he wants a little thing in our brains to help out with that. Doesn't that sound nice? I mean, where's this guy's evil pet cat? He needs an evil pet cat, don't you think? He would wrap the whole thing together. Now, I was going to show you this, but the point of this clip in particular was just to point out that, let me just let him tell you, okay? Showing, not telling.
Copies, more than 800,000 copies of those 2 million were sold in 3 countries alone, China, Japan, and South Korea. You may be interested, who was the biggest buyer with 16,000 copies at the same time? It was the Korean military. Because the fourth industrial revolution will have...
Yeah. So when the military-industrial complex is so interested in what you're doing, when the military, okay, an institution that's all about military control and obedience, when they insist, when they have a super interest in what he's up to, and then he wants to apply that to society, does that sound good to you? A Marshall type of system? Does that sound good to you guys? This is the 6th clip. I told you to stick around. And you're going to want to stick around for 10. This will all come together. Now check this out. Remember the little brain implant? see how it works? Oh, we've been devastated. Just do our thing. And we won't track you. Don't worry. Where have you heard of that before? Facebook, Instagram. How much is enough? Is this what freedom means? More control equals more freedom? Really? Just think about that, guys. Think about that. Go into your soul and think about that. Let's keep going here. These are 8 predictions for the world in 2030. Read that 10 times. What did I tell you? They create the system, they control the system, and they tell you how to act. And they're telling you, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Really? I'm already getting a little upset. I'm not so sure about that. That's sweet. We're already headed there. Oh, that's sweet. Wow. They must not be forgotten, except now we want to replace the democratic system with stakeholders. So how does the democratic checks and balances even apply in this new system? It's deceptive logic. We need to do this. Everything is collapsing. Martha's Vineyard was supposed to be underwater 10 years ago. And now there's parties now with former presidents there. You see how it works? You talk about a looming disaster. You talk about the looming disaster, and then people believe it. And a lot of those people will be willing to sacrifice so much for that sense of security. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Think about this, guys. Think about this. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe for me, not these guys. Let's keep going. This gets juicy now. We're about to hit the climax. It's talking about October 2019.
These epidemic events are getting more and more disruptive to health and to economy. And the reason we called it Event 201 is we knew eventually one of these days, one of those events would be the big one.
Yeah, one of these events, like the one where all the media, and I've covered this in previous videos, guys. I covered this in Media Lies. I covered this in Pfizer Lies. They engineered the thing. We now have definitive, beyond reasonable doubt proof that they engineered the thing. Do you understand that this is no longer a theory that they create the disaster? They engineered it.
And that big one would really challenge our capacity to respond. And to respond to the big one, we do need to have all hands on deck.
Scary.
Participants are confronted by a hypothetical scenario
that they concocted.
presents to them the challenges of a response. So we will say, here's a hypothetical disease outbreak. This is the way it might be evolving. And these are some of the challenges that you'll see that you'll have to address to address the disruptions that you're seeing to your healthcare system or to your organization.
Hypothetical. I can't watch this. This is just making me so upset. 2014 we had the documents. 2015 we had the documents. 2017 we had the funding documents. On their government websites, it was all there. It was all there, and they keep talking about it like it's hypothetical. Nothing's hypothetical about it. This is a strategically, mathematically planned event, a disaster scenario. Let's keep going. This video is getting long, and I want to get to that climax where everything crystallizes for you. Okay, here we go. 5 ways the pandemic could reshape our lives. If you buy into this, you will be like the people in this presentation. The new normal. You see, they don't track you with your blood from the previous video about the past, but don't worry, they'll track you with your heartbeat. Isn't that nice? Let's keep going. We're almost there. We're almost there. This is the last one. This is the video that they actually took down. Now be very, very focused on this.
COVID-19 pandemic has shaken our economies and societies to the core and shown us how vulnerable we are to biological threats. In the digital world, similar risks are being overlooked right now. A cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics would spread faster and further than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we've experienced with the coronavirus. To give you an idea, one of the fastest worms in history, the 2003 slammer sapphire worm, doubled in size approximately every 8.5 seconds, infecting over 75,000 devices in 10 minutes and almost 11 million devices in 24 hours. Fortunately, at least until now, cyber attacks have not impacted our health the way pandemics have, but the economic damages, and therefore the impact they have had on our daily lives, have been equal and sometimes even greater. You see, the only way to stop the exponential propagation of a COVID-like cyber threat is to fully disconnect the millions of vulnerable devices from one another and from the internet. All of this in a matter of days. A single day without the internet would cost our economies more than $50 billion, and that's before considering the economic and societal damages should these devices be linked to essential services such as transport or healthcare. As the digital realm increasingly merges with our physical world, the ripple effects of cyber attacks on our safety just keep on expanding at a faster pace than what we're preparing for. COVID-19 was known as an anticipated risk. So is the digital equivalent. Let's be better prepared for that one. The time is now.
Divide, contain, exploit. Divide, contain, exploit. You provide a problem which will divide the people. As your goons prepare for the actual system you are warning about, as we've seen through the documents I have mentioned. Then you contain, you create that system for that new substrate, that new paradigm for you to live in, and you exploit. So guys, I'm going to stop it right here. And I could keep going, but I hope that you have some understanding now of who this guy is and what he's about. Now read this here, very important. It's not about the goal of the political regime. It's about the actions it takes to arrive at the goal. The sales pitch always sounds utopic. It always sounds good. It always sounds like, yeah, well, we're gonna do that, so let's just it's inevitable. It's inevitable. And finally, this very important meme, which I won't explain to you guys. You can just pause and analyze it for yourself. With that, guys, this is Armav of Houston Ensemble. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll take you less than a second, but it means so much to us. And let us know if I missed some clips and what information you want me to cover next. And with that, I'll see you on the next video.
It is widely known that the tobacco and diet industries lobby governments with scientific propaganda for years until proven guilty in court. The artificial treatment of our water is the next corporate deception.
For example, virtually every nation in Europe has rejected the use of artificial fluoride. International studies since the 40s have repeatedly shown that endocrine and neurological effects increase after repeated consumption, even at the levels accepted by U.S. government.
Epic Water Filters is the most thorough industry-grade filtration system that Houston Ensemble has ever used. They reduce heavy metals upwards of 99.5%, such as lead and mercury, bacteria like E. coli, and poisons like chromium, nitrate, and fluoride.
Join us in our journey to living a toxin-free life and get your Epic Water Filter using discount code Houston Ensemble, lowercase, one word. That's Houston Ensemble, lowercase, one word, for 20% off your Epic Water Filter.